Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bing, I'm a photo and video maker. In today's video, let's talk about cheap lenses. So recently I've got obsessed with woodwork stuffs. I bought some power tools for my shop. I'm surprised by how low the price they are. Like you have $1,000, you can buy almost everything you need for woodwork. But when you come back to the photo and video gears, $1,000 is basically nothing. Yeah, the photography and videographer are expensive hobbies. I think you know that well. Even for professionals, they can't always invest the new gears they want, right? And the lenses are the most expensive one from them. It's such a huge barrier for amateurs and beginners. For me, my first lens is this Tamron 24-70 f2.8. It's a great lens, it's sharp, it's bright, good quality. But after this one, I can't afford good lenses and more. So what do? We start to look for cheap gears. You know, those gears made in China, where you can find on AliExpress? Yeah. To be honest, they don't always make garbage. We can find some decent gears on AliExpress, and we even get more and more good brands that came from China, like DJI, Zhaiyun, Toyota, Laowa, etc. They don't normally make camera lenses in a long period of time, but now we can see there are more and more Chinese-made camera lenses coming out to the market. First, it's manual lens. Then we can see there are auto lenses coming out, and actually the quality of them are getting better and better. And most importantly, they're quite affordable, relatively. Someone says they can make camera lenses because the patents of Canon and the other camera companies have been expired. Maybe it's true, I didn't check it out, but as long as they're being legally produced, I think we're good to buy. Besides the Chinese lenses, we can also find some Korea-made lenses and the vintage lenses. So I bought some lenses from Yongnuo. It's a Chinese brand. They used to make Canon flashlight knockoffs, and now they start to make camera lenses also. I have a 50mm f1.4 and the 85mm f1.8. And then I got lens from Sanyang. It's a 50mm t3.1. It's a cine lens with gears, as you can see. And the equivalent is f2.8. And then I have a vintage lens, and it's a Takima 80-200mm f4. I bought this one for just €1 on an old gear event. It was on the empty table with just a piece of paper writing €1, and I can't even find the seller, so I left €1 on the table, and here it is. It's quite nice lens. An expensive lens can give you a lot at the same time, like brightness, sharpness, fast, silent and precise autofocus, weather sealing, all these good stuff. Let's see, the satisfaction is 100%. And from a cheap lens, you will get, I'd say, 70% of satisfaction. Yeah, I know it's subjective, just bear with me. First, they're not that sharp at aperture wide open, like this Yongnuo 50mm f1.4. It's very soft at f1.4, which is wide open. The edge is all melted together. But if you keep your subject in the middle of the frame, it will be fine. And if you close up a little bit to f2, then you get a pretty decent edge sharpness and overall quality. Yeah, it's stupid to buy a f1.4 lens and use it at f2, but the truth is all of these wide aperture lenses are soft, and they all facing the same problems, like purple fringing or strong flares, something like this. Once upon I shot an outdoor portrait with a Canon 50mm f1.2, and the photos turned out very soft, and there are a lot of noticeable purple fringing. I also used a Sigma 35mm f1.4. I tell you, I can only handle it at f2 because the focal plane is so narrow, it's so hard to nail the focus, and the autofocus is not so reliable on that lens. Compared to the gorgeous shallow depth of field, I think the sharpness is the most touching element of a good photo. The sharpness is always the first priority for me. You can add shallow depth of field in post, but you can't add details. Actually, you can now with some AI technology, but it's just annoying to do, okay? And this 85mm f1.8 from Yuno. The only problem I don't like it is because it's very noisy when doing the autofocus. But to be honest, it's not such a big deal to me, nor to the models I worked with. When you're focusing on shooting photos, you won't notice the noise. And also the autofocus of them are a little bit slow, but as long as you don't shoot sport or wild animals, it's okay. Trust me, because my Tamron 24-70 is broken. There's no more autofocus, but it's still the most used lens of mine. I shoot indoor portrait with it, I shoot landscape with it, I shoot still life with it. For me, the autofocus is not that important. So as I said, if you don't shoot sport or wild animal, it's fine. And probably my next lens will be a manual focus lens. I think it will be Samyang 35mm f1.4. Looking forward to it. And talking about Samyang, I bought this 40mm t3.1 lens for my Blackmagic Pocket 4K because all my other lenses are not wide enough for it. So I got me this one, the cine version. And then I found it's so wide. I love to shoot some landscape or real estate with my Canon DSLR. Very happy with it. And when you shoot this kind of photos, you'll find that f2.8 is more than enough. And for getting more details, you might want to shoot always above f4. It is very sharp. Since the landscape doesn't move, you can take time to nail the focus manually. I paid almost $170 for this lens. I bought it on Amazon from warehouse. It's a used lens. And by the way, the Amazon warehouse, they always sell secondhand stuff at cheap, but when you get it, you find it's almost new. Love it. And the last lens I want to cover is this vintage lens, the Takima 80-200mm f4. About the vintage lens, it's a little bit tricky to find one has a good glass condition. You know they have some common problems like dust, fungus, moisture, scratch, and the aperture blade oil leaking. If you find a vintage lens without those problems, congratulations. I believe that you can make some breathtaking photos with them. I don't use this one a lot, but I'm quite happy with it. If you want some unique perspective B-rolls, this can come handy. And let's say my life started over, I'm now in a very poor condition, but I still want to do photography. I would probably pick up a Canon 5D Mark II, second-hand one, with a bunch of vintage lenses. I believe I can still produce good works with them. So the conclusion is the cheap lenses are okay to buy. Just close up a little aperture and take some time to nail the focus and press the shutter release button. Yeah, okay, maybe some editing and you're good to go. You're unstoppable. Yeah, of course you lose the efficiency, some sweet parts, but in general you get the job done and save a bunch of money with them. And also, it forces you to learn some photo editing skills, if you consider it's a plus. Save some money for an epic adventure, or maybe a good photo printer. You need to print your photos. Yeah, okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's the video for today. Thanks for watching. If you found it's been useful, please like, share, comment, and also consider subscribing. I will see you in the next time. Very soon, I promise.